We also see that Steve has built many things for himself in this world. One day, while he is working, he notices another portal. He accidentally opens it and goes inside. It turns out that this portal leads him to a different dimension of the overworld called the Netherland. This place has no creativity and no happiness at all. It feels like a total hell. The movie starts by showing us a kid named Steve who is absolutely obsessed with going inside mines. But since he is just a child, nobody allows him to go in. Many years pass by, and after waiting for so long, he finally grows up and goes into the mines to fulfill his childhood dream. While he is digging around, he finds something incredible, an earth crystal and an orb. As soon as he fits the earth crystal into the orb, a portal opens up right there. Steve steps inside this portal and finds himself in a world that is completely different from our normal world. Everything here is in a square shape, almost like a world straight out of someone's dreams or a fantasy. This place is called the Overworld. A very special thing about this world is that whatever you think of or imagine, it gets created on its own. For a creative person like Steve, this place is like heaven, so he decides to stay there forever. He even finds a wolf dog there and makes him his pet. Years go by, and the friendship between Steve and his dog grows very strong. We also see that Steve has built many things for himself in this world. One day, while he is working, he notices another portal. He accidentally opens it and goes inside. It turns out that this portal leads him to a different dimension of the overworld called the Netherland. This place has no creativity and no happiness at all. It feels like a total hell. As soon as Steve arrives, the queen of this land has him captured and takes away his earth crystal and the orb. Actually, the queen had been wanting to get her hands on these items for a long time so she could destroy the overworld, mostly because the overworld never accepted her. After learning about the queen's evil plans, Steve gets very scared. He realizes that if anyone can save the overworld, it's him. When night falls, he manages to trick everyone, frees himself, and steals the earth crystal and the orb back. Steve puts his life on the line to protect the crystal. He puts it in a bag, gives it to his pet dog, and tells him to run to our world, the Earth, and hide it under the bed in his room. Following Steve's orders, the dog runs through the Netherland portal, goes into the overworld, and then through another portal to Earth. Just as Steve said, the dog hides the orb under the bed in Steve's house. Now, the movie jumps many years ahead, and we are introduced to a man named Garrett. He owns a video game store, but not many people visit it. Because of this, he is struggling with money and has even received a notice to vacate the shop. He is very stressed and needs money somehow to save his gaming zone. To earn some cash, he decides to use his last bit of savings to buy a storage container, hoping to sell the items inside for a profit. While looking through the container, he finds a game called Cosmos, which was a very famous and great game back in the day. He hopes that if he launches this game in his shop, his business will come back to life. With this hope, he buys the container, but luck is not on his side. Inside the box, there are only old, useless things instead of the game. However, in that pile of junk, he finds the orb and the crystal. He picks them up, but has no idea what they are actually for. He found them because those items originally belonged to Steve's house. Garrett's luck is so bad that while he is heading home with the orb and crystal, his car engine fails. Frustrated, he gets out of the car and starts screaming. The scene then cuts to a boy named Henry and his sister. Henry is a very smart kid and, just like Steve, he has a great imagination. Whatever he thinks of building, he first sketches it in his drawing book. It turns out Henry has just moved in next to Garrett. In the morning, before going to school, he visits Garrett's gaming zone. He meets Garrett and finds his things quite interesting, but since he is short on time, he leaves for school. At school, the art teacher asks the students to do some live drawing. A banana and an orange are placed in front of them to draw. Henry starts his assignment, but because he is so creative, he draws a jetpack behind the banana. This gets him in trouble with the teacher, because in live drawing, you aren't supposed to show creativity, you just draw what is in front of you. The other kids also make fun of him on his very first day. Henry gets really angry and wants to prove his drawing can be real. He works very hard and actually builds a jetpack, which he attaches to a skeleton. He brings it to the school grounds to test it out. Everyone gathers around to watch, but a kid secretly cuts one of the wires of the jetpack. Because of this, the jetpack flies, but Henry loses control. It ends up crashing into some people at a chips factory, and Henry is embarrassed once again. The principal even tells him to call someone from home. Henry knows his sister will be very angry if she finds out, so he calls Garrett, with whom he has become friendly. He tells Garrett that if he comes to school and acts like his uncle, he will pay him $2,000. Hearing about the money, Garrett immediately agrees. Garrett gets Henry out of the school trouble and takes him to his shop. There, Henry sees that his jetpack is actually fine, but he doesn't understand how it went out of control. He is so disappointed with his failed project that he throws his entire diary into the trash. As he looks around the shop in a daze, his eyes fall on the orb and the crystal. Henry walks over and puts the earth crystal into the orb. Suddenly, the power of the items pulls him toward the same mines where the portal to the Overworld had opened for Steve. Garrett follows him there. Meanwhile, Henry's sister is getting worried because Henry is nowhere to be found. She calls the real estate agent who helped them buy their house. Using her phone, they track Henry's location and arrive at the mines too. While all four of them are standing there talking in surprise, the portal starts pulling the orb toward it. The vacuum force is so strong that Henry, Garrett, his sister, and the lady agent all get sucked into the Overworld. They are shocked and confused looking at this new world. Just then, an inhabitant of the Overworld sees the portal open and, without thinking, jumps through it to our world. On the other side, the Queen of Netherland realizes that the orb and crystal are back in the Overworld. She goes to Steve and tells him that if he brings her the orb and crystal, she will spare his life. Steve is actually happy about this. Back in the Overworld, the agent is very scared and asks everyone to go back to their world. But suddenly, it turns into night within a second. Many skeleton monsters appear and start attacking them. They all start running to save themselves. In that moment, Henry realizes that if there were a wall, they would be safe. As soon as he thinks it, a wall starts building itself. He understands that in this world, whatever you think becomes real. He imagines a room around them, and they are saved from the skeletons. However, Garrett isn't with them yet. Henry also left the orb and crystal outside the room he built. Garrett risks his life to grab the orb and crystal, but as he tries to get inside, someone shoots an arrow at them. This causes the earth crystal to shatter, and Garrett is left with only the orb. He runs toward the fortress Henry built. Suddenly, many zombie monsters appear and chase Garrett. He climbs up the fortress to escape, but the zombies follow him. Everyone's life is in danger. Just before the zombies can kill them, Steve makes a grand entry and starts fighting the monsters with great skill. He has lived there for a long time and knows exactly how to handle them. He thinks about it being morning, and with a snap of his fingers, the sun comes out. The sunlight burns all the zombie monsters to death. Steve introduces himself and tells them he has been living in the Overworld for years. When he sees the orb, he realizes the earth crystal is broken and gets very angry. Without that crystal, the portal back to Earth cannot be opened, and they could be stuck there forever. Everyone gets worried, so Steve tells them there is one way out. There is a place called the Woodland Mansion that has the last remaining earth crystal. He offers to help them get it if they give him the orb in return. They all agree. Steve warns them that going to the Woodland Mansion is not easy and is full of danger. They decide to make some weapons to survive. Steve takes them to his store, which is full of things he made or won in battles. Garrett sees a strange crystal there, and Steve tells him not to touch it because wherever you throw it, you teleport there. Garrett doesn't listen, throws it behind him, and instantly teleports. Now he finally believes Steve. Steve helps them learn how to craft things. Henry learns very quickly and builds a pressure gun that even impresses Steve. Garrett, however, isn't good at this and makes very weird things. When Steve asks what he's doing, Garrett says he isn't interested in making things. He only wants the treasure hidden in the mines where the portal opened. Garrett tells Steve that if he takes him to the treasure, he will give him the orb. While they are talking, the Netherland monsters attack because the Queen wants the items. They fight back, but Henry's sister and the other lady get separated from the group. Steve takes Henry and Garrett to a high place and gives them iron wings to fly. Garrett pushes Henry off to test them, but the wings don't open at first. Just before hitting the ground, they activate, and Henry starts flying. Seeing this, Garrett jumps too. Steve didn't want to jump, but the Queen's soldiers arrive to kill him, so he is forced to jump and land on Garrett. Before they can reach the mountains where the mansion is, their wings stop working and they fall to the ground. "There!" Garrett asks Steve who those soldiers were. Steve explains they belong to the Queen of Netherland, who wants to destroy the Overworld. Years ago, people laughed at her dancing skills, which made her so angry that she started hating the Overworld and every talented person in it. She wants to kill all creative people and take the orb. Garrett asks why Steve needs the orb, and Steve reveals it's to save his dog. If the Queen doesn't get the orb, she will kill his dog and keep Steve a prisoner forever. We then see the dog, who is very sad because Steve is gone. Night falls again. Henry's sister and her friend are alone when the dog finds them. They recognize him from his collar and know it's Steve's dog. They want to find their friends, so the dog starts tracking Steve's scent and leads them. Meanwhile, Steve takes Garrett to the mine with the treasure. Before they can take anything, the guards realize someone is there and start destroying the mine. Their lives are in danger, but Steve quickly puts them in a cart and speeds out of the mine. As soon as they get out, the mine collapses completely. Henry gets angry at Garrett, saying his greed put them in danger. Garrett snaps back, saying his life isn't easy like Henry's. He is bankrupt and needs the money. Steve understands Garrett's emotions because his situation is similar. Finally, they reach the Woodland Mansion. Steve gives them instructions. The first floor has assassins with axes, the second floor has wizards, and the third floor has the Earth Crystal guarded by Endermen. He warns them never to look into an Enderman's eyes. They make a plan where Garrett goes in and starts singing to distract the assassins. This gives Henry a chance to sneak to the second floor. Some assassins see him, but he runs fast and reaches the third floor without being caught by the wizards. Outside, Steve and Garrett are busy fighting. Henry finds the Earth Crystal, but an Enderman appears behind him. He accidentally looks into its eyes and starts having hallucinations where everyone calls him a loser. He almost loses it, but he controls his emotions and kills the Enderman with his axe. When the monster dies, it leaves behind a teleportation crystal. Henry takes both crystals and meets up with Steve and Garrett outside. Just as they are leaving, the Queen arrives with her soldiers. She steals the orb and the Earth Crystal from them and sets off a bomb to stop them from following her. The blast knocks Garrett down, and Henry and Steve fall unconscious. When they wake up, they find that Steve's dog has found them and brought them home. But Garrett is gone. The Queen puts the orb and crystal on her portal and activates it. A dark laser shoots out, starting to turn the overworld dark. She wants to take over everything. Steve is heartbroken, but he and his friends plan a final battle. They prepare weapons and mini-bombs and head to the battlefield. They start taking down the Queen's soldiers easily. The Queen gets furious and summons a giant monster. Steve goes to fight it. Henry knows that if he can pull the Earth Crystal off the portal, the destruction will stop. He uses his brain, puts a teleportation crystal into his pressure gun, and shoots it near the Earth Crystal. He teleports there, but before he can grab it, a soldier throws a bomb at him, and he falls. Just before he hits the ground, Garrett appears in a hot air balloon and saves him. It turns out Garrett didn't die. He survived because of the balloon. Henry and Garrett go to the portal wall and knock it down, destroying the portal. The negativity leaving the overworld vanishes and sunlight spreads again. The Netherland soldiers turn into zombies in the light, and the Queen loses all her powers. Even without power, she tries to kill Steve one last time, but she fails. Steve's team wins the war. They all prepare to go back to Earth. Steve gives them his dog as a gift and decides to stay behind to enjoy his life in the overworld. But Henry's sister asks him why he doesn't share his magic with the real world. This changes Steve's mind, and he returns to Earth with them. Back on Earth, they open a new gaming zone for Steve. Henry and Garrett launch a new game together that becomes a huge hit in just a few days, solving all of Garrett's money problems. Steve becomes a partner in the store and gives live performances there. Henry finally wears his jetpack to school, and this time, all the kids are incredibly impressed by him. And with that, the movie ends.